Hello students, welcome to Btech360. We've been doing a series of those colleges, BTech colleges that you must be looking out for beyond the IITs, NITs, IIITs and all. You should all know that there are a lot of very good colleges at a local level, at a state level, which go through state counseling or the local counseling, but they don't figure in the larger consideration set of a lot of people across the country. So what we did was we shortlisted about 30 colleges and we're featuring each one of them each day so that you actually, for us, the objective is very clear, to expand your options, to expand your consideration set so that you have more number of colleges that you can be looking at and not just the IITs, NITs and IIITs. So in that process, we're going to talk of one college which is based in Chennai. Before I move further, 3 requests that I always have. Please subscribe to Btech360. If you want to talk to us personally, there is a number here. Just message us and one of our counselors will call you up. And if you want me to cover any college, message us in the message box here and we'll try to cover that for you. Now, coming back to the larger thing, I told you earlier that we are talking of those colleges which are very good, possibly better than some of the NITs, some of the IIITs and some of the, GFTS and those kind of things. Some, again, I'm saying it's not that it's the best out there, but these are options that you must always keep on the table. That's the only way you can, ensure that you get into the branch of your choice and not based on, going by what others say that I want to study at NIT or IIIT or IIT. It should also be a part of a consideration set because the fact is that many NITs and IIITs also are unable to place some students, and many of these private colleges are also able to place some of the students also. So the reverse also is true and the reverse also is false depending on how you want to look at data. But the important thing for you is to how do you ensure that the rank or the score that you have in your hand, how do you optimize your choices and get into the best college and the best course that you want, which gets you the best outcome. And that is what you must be very closely looking at. And from that perspective is what we are talking about these colleges. Now, the college that I am about to talk about is an institute founded in 1996. By one of the biggest philanthropists that we have in the country. His name is Shiv Nadar. He also owns the company HCL. HCL is its market cap is about a few lakh crores, right? It's been there for ages and it's been doing very good service and it employs, tens of thousands of people or lakhs of people rather, right? And that gentleman has founded this institution. It was earlier called, I will talk about the name much later. And it always was, admitting students only based on merit. It never had any other criteria other than, admitting students only based on merit. It's high quality and affordable education. So one of the things it focus on is to ensure that it's high quality and affordable also. So it's not going to, you can't pay your money into the system and then get into this particular college. You really need to have some kind of a merit to get into this particular college, right? The highest salary is about 80 lakh plus kind of a thing. And of course, the connection that Mr. Shiv Nadar has, it is very easy for them to place most of the students, right? A strong focus on merit, I told you earlier, and academic performance rather than donations, because the gentleman doesn't require donations, he's got money. So what he's doing is to ensure that he created a trust, the trust owns these universities, the universities get the best students and then get the best outcome for them and then move on from there, right? The institution stands out for generous scholarship program. So if you're a very good student, you can get into it, you will also have very good scholarships and academically strong. And it's all given to the financially deserving students also. So that is the college. What is the college? The college is called SSN College earlier, which is now a part of the Shiv Nadar University, Chennai. So there are 2 universities for Shiv Nadar. One is in Noida, one is in Chennai. The one I'm talking about is Shiv Nadar University in Chennai. And the college it was now, which has become a part of it, is now called the SSN College of Engineering. It's called the SSN College of Engineering, which is now a part of Shiv Nadar University. And we'll also tell you why we're recommending this particular college, why you must keep it as a part of your consideration set. We earlier covered 3 of them till now. You please go back and look at the videos because as I told you, we're talking of 30 colleges one by one that you must keep looking at, of which some you may not want to because geographically you might not want to study in some parts of India and those kind of things. But for us, the objective is to expose certain options for you, which we think in our opinion are very good, have been there for a long time, have been serving the nation and serving the student community and delivering student outcomes as promised. And most importantly, they have admission criteria which is beyond the particular state also, and they really value merit. So the best quality students actually prefer that particular college. That is where this particular college works out for me. And we'll talk of placement stats, salary data, all those things we'll talk as I move along. Right? Please do watch out for the other 2-3 videos that we've done. And please watch all the 30 videos that we're going to do because some of them might actually change your life. So keep them as a part of your set, right? Now, SSN College of Engineering, which is now a part of Shiv Nadar University, which, by the way, it happened only this year that they got away from the TNEA counseling and come here, right? It's established in 1996. It's a private university now. 47th best engineering college ranking at this point. 250 acres of land, 3,690 students, 62% are boys, 37% are girls, right? 14% students come from outside the state, which is earlier through the management quota. But now with the change in status and all, you will actually see this percentage jumping dramatically as you move along, because now the admission criteria is no longer to TNEA. So you'll actually have a lot of people. And by the way, they also have a parallel pathway for students who are JEE students. And that is the reason why we're figuring it in. They have their own entrance test also, but they also have the JEE students pathway, where a student with 90% and above of JEE can also apply to that, right? And within the state is 84%. There are also 74 students which come from outside the country, and 360 students who faculty is what they have. So for the kind of thing, you actually have 1:10 kind of a student faculty ratio, which means for every 10 students, there is one faculty, which is again a very, very good thing, because what is recommended is 1:15, mind you. Now, when we looked at the data that is submitted to Government of India, to NIRF, right, which is National Institutional Ranking Framework, Ministry of Education, Government of India, right? Now, they submitted data, which is welcome to data capturing system. They actually have a data capturing system, which this particular college, which is a part of the Shiv Nadar University, Chennai, submitted, where for the 24-25 batch of the 787 students who graduated, 633 were placed and 138 moved for higher studies, which now means if you add 633 and 138, we're dealing with 771 students. Yeah, 771 students from 787. Right. So only 16 students are not placed. Right. Now, which also means that the placement percentage is 98%. That's the placement percent of the institution. And what is the median salary there? 8.73 lakh. Now, when you actually have multiple branches across the spectrum, your median salary is bound to come down, which is what would have happened in this particular case. Because if you look at certain branches, the placement ratio would be about 15 lakh, 20 lakh kind of a median is what you'll go to. As you keep coming down the order is when this median keeps coming down. Otherwise, 98% placement, 633 students placed, 8.73 lakh is an extremely good number, because for some of the branches of your choice, it may go up to even 12 lakh, 15 lakh, 17 lakhs kind of a median salary. Now, that is a very good option for you. So again, I'm saying what we're talking of is those colleges which have a decent placement data, have been there for a longer time, and we think that because kind of quality of institution that it is, the quality of placement that they have, the quality of education that they deliver, we thought that it must be a part of your set, which we should be looking at based on the JEE rank or score, or based on your All India ranks, whatever the ranks are. Right. Now, what is the placement if you now look at this in perspective? I told you earlier, 780 students intake first year, including laterally it's 866, of which only 787 graduated. 633 were placed, 138 moved for higher education, 97.4% is a placement. Across the board, if you now notice, they've been placing 90% plus kind of a thing, 95%, close to 95%. And the median salary is 8.73 lakh. That is, at that scale of so many placements, 633, it's a very good number to deal with. Now, we also looked at their own website to understand how the campus placements are happening. In mechanical, 39 students were registered for placement and 30 were placed. 16.5 lakh is the highest salary. Now, we don't have the median salary, by the way, of all those things. And by the way, I must also confess that I removed the minimum salary because it was all 3 lakh and all. So I didn't talk of that because that might mislead. It also means possibly that, you actually can also say that the highest salary also is misleading, but you now have the median salary, which is 8.73 lakh on the other side. For me, this is important. What is the kind of percentage at a branch level that is placed? In mechanical, 39 students registered and 30 students were placed. In chemical, 47 registered and 25 were placed. In civil, 42 registered and 20 were placed, which means less than 50% placement. In CSE, 121 registered and 109 were placed. In EC, 107 registered and 94 were placed. In EEE, 113 registered and 81 were placed. In IT, 130 registered and 123 were placed. And in mechanical, 109 registered and 81 were placed. So the kind of placement that you have, you very clearly know what is, what the outcome that you can be looking at or expecting when you join any of these branches in this particular college. And of course, the highest salary, if you notice, CSU obviously would be about 47 lakh rupees, which is the highest. IT is 58 lakh rupees. Mechanical is 27 lakh rupees. Triple E is 18 lakh rupees. And EC is 18. So you have the highest salary being between 17 lakh and 57 lakh rupees. But the median salary is something that we already talked of, which is 8.73 lakh rupees. When the most important thing earlier I told you was, what is the admission process? Earlier, they used to go through TNEA and JEE. So there were two pathways. But after they became a university and they became part of the Shiv Nadar University, Chennai, that pathway of TNEA is completely gone. Right? It says SN College of Engineering is no longer accepting applications. Please apply for similar programs on the SSN School of Engineering, which is at Shiv Nadar University, Chennai, SNUC. So you need to go to SNUC, go to SSN School of Engineering and start applying from there. That's the only pathway that you have. Earlier, the TNEA and all is almost over now. Right? So you click on this and get on with that one, right? Now, one of the things I told you earlier that, of course, there is a JEE pathway, but the important thing is, even the college recommends that you must go through SNUCE. While SNUCE is not mandatory for candidates who wish to be considered for interview basis, the JEE Main score only, we strongly recommend that they to take the SNUCE in order to maximize the chances. What does it mean? Of course, through JEE, you can actually apply to the college, you may get there. But if you apply through SNUCE, you actually have two pathways opening. Wherever the merit works for you, you have greater chance of going there, which is what these people are saying. There is a JEE pathway. You can apply through a JEE score only. If you don't want to apply, appear for the examination, yeah, of course you can go through it. But your chances to that extent are slightly lesser. Right? But if you have a very good score there, you can actually go through that and you might actually get that. They demand a 90 percentile minimum for you to even apply into this thing. But if you really are very keen to study only at SNU, then please apply through the SNU common entrance test also, because there is a, you suddenly maximize your chances because one of the merits will work for you and it actually helps you out in that sense, right? And by the way, SNUC is an exam center. It's not home proctored or anything. You must be very careful about that. Now, what is the admission process? All admissions to SNU Chennai are purely merit-based. Listen to me very carefully, purely merit-based. And no other criteria is applicable or accepted. So you can't buy your way into the college. Applicants are prohibited from approaching anybody at the university for soliciting admission. So if you approach through an agent or anything, your application is debarred. Any violation will lead to immediate disqualification of the applicant. So if you try to go through any other route or gray area and all, or if some agent is promising you that, be very, very wary, because you might not even get a chance of entering the system, and that becomes a challenge for you. For BCom Professional Accounting and BSc Economics Data Science programs, admissions are basis performance at the entrance exam, SNUCE. For BTech programs, there are two tracks for admission. I told you earlier, through entrance exam, which is called SNUCE, and basis JEE Main score. So this is what we're talking about now, right? But you can also go through SNUCE. SNUCE does not accept the scores of any other exams, examples SAT or BitSat or anything, they don't accept that. So either JEE or SNUCE is what you're looking at and nothing else. Right? And the process is SNUCE score or JEE Main score, shortlisted of personal interview, shortlisting for provisional admission, offer, and that's how it is. Right. Now, what is the minimum that you need? 10 class marks, 60% marks, 12 class, 75% marks. That is very important. I always say that, the moment you make 12 class marks, 75% marks, the coaching dies down and ultimately you'll start learning in the schooling system, in my belief. And these people want 75% in class 12th. If you don't have that, don't even try to apply. Marks below the minimum requirement cannot be rounded off also. So if you're saying 74.4, 74.6, no, it's not rounded off. You need to be 75% or above. Right. Applicants from school boards which provide grade GPA based results will have to furnish the marks in equivalent percentage. So if someone is giving you CGPA and all, please understand that they also need the marks because they want to calculate the 75% marks in class 12th or in class 10th at 60% for you to be there. Applicants whose 12th standard results are expected to be delayed beyond May 26 will have to provide predicted marks sheet from their school, because they want to finalize their shortlisting process very early. Right. Now, what is the entrance examination? The entrance examination is, part A is 45 minutes is aptitude, 45 minutes, 100 marks. Part B is 75 minutes domain knowledge, 100 marks. And in that thing, you actually have maths, physics, chemistry, compulsory, 60, 20, and 20. And non-engineering, which is for the BCom honors and those kind of things, you're dealing with accountancy, economics, physics, maths, commerce, computer science and all, where it's 40 and 30. So look at the exam, on the website of SNU, and you'll exactly get all the details depending on which course you want. Right now we're talking of Btech. So in Btech, what we're talking of is aptitude is 100 marks, and domain knowledge is 100 marks, which is maths, physics, and chemistry, of which maths is 60%, physics is 20%, and chemistry is 20%. Right? And there are two parts, as I said. Two parts. Part A is aptitude test. Part B is subject matter. Both parts will be scored out of a total of 100 marks. Negative marking will be applicable for wrong answers. So there is a negative marking also for this whole thing. And what is the syllabus? For economic general studies, maths 10 standard, English, sociology. So this is for this part of it. So we're not looking at non-engineering at this point. For engineering, it's maths, physics, and chemistry, and of course the aptitude that you have. Now, what are the dates? The last date of application is 30th April, not 23rd April at this point in time. Essentially phase date 23rd April. It's now 30th April. That's because in Tamil Nadu, the elections are happening on 23rd April. So they moved the entire thing. In view of the elections in Tamil Nadu on 23rd April, the SNC phase scheduled on 23rd April, exam centers in Tamil Nadu has been shifted to 30th April. So what you need to do is to know, and you can apply up to 13 or 17 days before this, which means you have dates till 15th of April or something like that. Please check that again. Because it's changed because of the elections in Tamil Nadu. But you need to book a slot for an exam center and go there. The sooner you do that, you'll get a exam center closer to you. Otherwise, you'll get into a problem. But you need to fix a slot, schedule a slot and an exam center and fix that. And that will happen at the application stage itself. Now, what is the sanction intake? That's very important for you. In all, the sanction intake is about 974 in 24-25. So you actually have 974 students that they can take across all those branches that we talked of. And by the way, there is also a reservation for other categories also. But you will very clearly see that you have a decent number of seats that are there. And the kind of placement that I talked of earlier at a branch level, it also helps you out to understand the whole thing. Right. Now, the fee is 3.5 lakh for CSE, electrical and ECE, 3.5 lakhs per annum. Right. And for the core, it is 3 lakh rupees per annum. Now, which essentially means that you're dealing with about 14 lakh rupees, which is again, in the current times, it is very moderate for a private institution. Plus hostel and all, you'll end up in all over 4 years spending about 20 lakh rupees to get an undergrad program from SSN College of Engineering, which is a part of Shiv University, Chennai. Now, they also have scholarships. Now, the scholarship rules keep changing, but I've listed out the scholarships that you have: merit scholarship, merit cum main scholarship, waiver of tuition fees, walkout with scholarships. For rural students, they have a separate thing. For sports scholarship, they have something. And Illinois scholarship is something that they have. There are different ranges that they have in terms of how much scholarship is available and how many are available, because they actually have a corpus and they keep distributing the corpus across these scholarships. So again, it is rule based and it is time, depending on how many people and what kind of people are applying for it. Keep watching the website and you'll understand this also. Right. What are the companies that come for recruitment? You actually have, because it's been there for such a long time, all the large companies coming: Tata Chemicals, Sanmar, Microchip, Adani, Titan, Amazon, Motorola, Sapient, Samsung, Citi, Directi, Microsoft, Nielsen, PayPal, Freshworks, Adobe, Oracle, Google, Zoho, Dell, Barclays, HSBC, Optum. So you actually have all kinds of companies coming here for placement, which is what you must keep looking at, because in a university which has been there for such a long time typically has most number of employers coming in for placement. We also looked at LinkedIn, because one is for them to claim that so many companies are coming for placement. Two is to understand how these students are performing in their life, right? How are they? What's the career path? What's the career journey that they have and all? And when we looked at data, we found that 9,670 students who studied at SSN College of Engineering were found on LinkedIn, right? 9,673 students claimed that they studied at SSN College and they are found on LinkedIn. Of this 9,673, currently in 167 students are working in HCL Tech, which of course is a parent company, because remember, this institution is owned by HCL. The founder of HCL, Mr. Shiv Nadar, right? Bain and Company is consulting company. 92 students are working there, which is very, very good. In Amazon, 44 students are working. In EY, 37 students are working. In fact, at some point in time, in EY, 185 students were working. And in Amazon, 124 were working. And in Bain & Company, 129 were working. And in HCL Tech, 329 students were working. So what it means is that they actually have, some of the biggest companies in the country, some of the students are working there and have worked there over a period of time also. Moving further, in Cognizant, 194 students are working. In fact, at some point in time, 920 students worked at Cognizant at some point in time. Of course, this is based in Chennai, so it actually works for them. In Accenture, 350 students worked at some point in time, and 101 currently are working. In Amazon, 44 are working right now. IBM, 32 are working right now, and Google, 22 are working right now. And in Google, at some point in time, 149 students were working. So very clearly, the students who studied at SSN have found their pathway into the best companies out there or the large companies that are out there and working there and have had stable careers if you look at those numbers. Right? We moved further to understand where they're domiciled, how they're performing, where are they stationed, where are they placed and those kind of things. When we look at that, we found that 81% of the students are in India, which means 19% students are world over. They're all over the world, which means they're not in India, they're beyond India, right? Of this, 8% students are in USA. Now, this typically happens when you're working for a large, institution which has been there for a long, long time. 8% of the students who studied at SSN college are in USA, 1% are in Canada, and about 33 students are in UAE. And then you actually obviously have Delhi being a big number. Then Karnataka 7% because it's software capital of India, and then Maharashtra and all. So that's the kind of alumni location that these people have in terms of how they're working and where they're placed. Right. Now, this is the details of, what SSN college is saying. Again, let me repeat, what we're talking of is covering those institutions that must be a part of your consideration set so that your options get expanded. Now, ultimately, it's your option that you have on your table based on which you will decide. And for us, the objective is to ensure that your options get expanded, so you have more options, and based on that, you make the choice. And in that context, we are listing out 30 colleges across the country which are locally extremely strong but might not have been known at a national level. So the students of North might not know SSN College, or the students of North may not know RB College or BMS College and those kind of things. The idea of our objective that we have is to actually expose these colleges to all the students across the country so that they can actually look at them also when they're making those choices. And some of these colleges require a separate application process. So we also wanted you to understand the entire process and why we're recommending these things, so that you actually ultimately get into the best college based on your merit and your score and your ability to do that. I just hope this helps you. And again, I keep repeating, please subscribe to Btech360. If you want to talk to a counselor, message us. And if you want me to cover anything, write to me on the message box here and I'll be happy to cover that. Thank you so much. Namaste.